I want to welcome all of our newest members to our locker room. And if we haven't met already, my name is Greg, and it's an absolute honor and a privilege to be sharing some time with you guys. You guys are going to have to forgive me today. Last night, I attended a class reunion with some of the guys and gals that I went to college with back in the day. And so it was a really, really late night, to say the least, but it was just great reconnecting. And what was so interesting about it, it helped me to understand why what we have our hands on is so important, because these are people that, you had history with. And then after you graduate, life, sets in, and then you just splinter like roaches. And then you wonder what happened to the last, 25, 35 years when we were supposed to be lifelong friends. And the same thing happens in our homes as well, with our children, latchkey kids, things of that nature. So what we have our hands on, you guys, is extremely important as we're showing people worldwide how to have cash flow coming their way so they can call their own shots, wake up when they get through sleeping, really develop their long-term relationships that matter most to them and everything like that. But having said that, let me just share this with all of the newest members. What we do on Locker Room is we cover a lot of different things on Saturday. We talk about the co-op ecosystem, the business. We talk about systems. We talk about leadership. We also talk about how this particular project, it fits into the macro element of everything that's going on around the world, you guys. I mean, we are the tip of the spear in terms of what's happening in the world. And the idea of us being able to come together for the first time in history to create our own bank. And I think sometimes we overlook that, and it blows me away sometimes when people look at this and they say, well, this looks like something else I've been associated with. No, it's not. It's just like comparing that every car is the exact same thing. You have Bugattis and you have Pintos. Just because they can take you from point A to point B, some take you there a little bit quicker, a little bit better gas efficiency, and in style. We got the grand poobah of the home-based business enterprise. But sometimes when we get on these locker rooms, you guys, we share some things because we're so passionate. And so if we offend you when we're talking about various things, charge it to our head and not our hearts, because we're not here to offend anyone. We're here to help people win, because we know this isn't your first rodeo in the people-to-people space. And so if you're sick and tired of going to this deal, this shiny object, make money sometimes, lose money, rug pulls, then it's over with based on joining forces with us here. But you got to plug in order to stay turned on. And so I'm going to dive right into it today. We're going to do a Q&A at the end. You may hear from a couple of people from our community here at the end as well. But I want to dive right into it today, and I don't want to keep you guys very long at all. But I want to talk about and piggyback off of what we talked about last week when we talked about the most important word in the people-to-people space, or in any relationship thereafter, in its integrity. But I want to talk to you guys about something that is very, very important in terms of a collaborative versus a cooperative, if you will, okay? What we have our hands on is fifth grade level simple in terms of the ability to get rich. It is fifth grade level simple. We know about the 2 steps. We know about presenting and then the training aspect and all those things. But I want to talk to you guys about the difference between a cooperative and a collaborative, because that's what Smarter Than Money is. We are actually not only a cooperative, but we are a collaborative. And I'm going to help you guys understand the difference. And why I'm bringing this up is because those of you that are new to this space, we've been involved in the cooperative ecosystem for 5.5 years. I mean, you can go to one of our websites, smarterthanmoney.info, after Locker Room, and check out some of the videos that you see corporate puts out. They came through our umbrella in terms of us training and teaching people worldwide. So we basically paid down the ignorance tax when it comes to how to build the cooperative business, if you will. Nobody knows how to do it better than we do, because we've seen all the ups and downs and all around all the changes. And we've been here 5.5 years, 10 toes down, having locker rooms every single Saturday, Monday night overviews, live webinars and new member orientations. So why am I sharing this with all of the members worldwide? It's simply because we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We are 10 toes down. So all you have to do is just plant your staff here, take this very, very seriously, and develop that multi-million-dollar mindset. Now, before I share my screen, I want to talk about cooperative versus collaborative because they seem similar in a way in terms of words, but they're completely different. A cooperative is where people work together agreeably, if you will. Okay, they come, they show up to the various meetings. They do their small part. Some do, some don't. But it's basically people working together, agreeably. A collaborative, though, which makes all the difference in the world, in addition to us being a cooperative, is people working together aggressively. There's a totally different tone there whereby we're doing this aggressively. We're building this on purpose. We're not guessing or anything like that. We can show people worldwide how to create unavoidable residual cash flow on purpose. And it's simply 100% a choice and not a chance, but you have to have a collaborative mindset to do it. You can't be individualistic in terms of just your goals. And allow me to elaborate on this real quickly, you guys. I'm going to show you guys this here. I'm going to share my screen here and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. And this is very, very, very important to really understand moving forward. Okay. So we're going to be talking about a cooperative versus a collaborative because people want to say, well, how have we been able to stay around for so long when you've had people come and go or drop off, things of that nature? Is because we are actually a collaborative and we treat it this way. But what I want to do real quick, I'm going to play this short video that I had, edited that D Ford sent to me. And I think it's very, very apropos to what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So let me go ahead and play this video for you guys real quickly. And then we're going to really, really break this down because once you embrace this, every last one of you that embraces this, hear me very, very closely. You're going to start seeing a shift in your cash flow over the next 30, 60, 90 days if you embrace what I'm going to share with you today, okay? But it's on you to really, really pull in here. So let me go ahead and play this for you here real quickly.
I've got to ask, is there anyone else besides me who understands the power of the people? Yes or no? Imagine the incredible potential that arises when individuals join forces as a community, working together towards a common goal. Take a moment to reflect on this idea and all the possibilities it holds. Now, if you don't understand, then it's time to change that. Indulge me for a moment. Imagine if achieving your dreams wasn't just a solo journey, but a community effort. Communities give us strength, hope, support, and the ability to make a change. Look at history. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, each were able to unite the people. Now, don't forget about these two people. Donald Trump's, raising $51 million after 34 felony convictions. Kamala Harris, raising $81 million in 24 hours, all from massive campaign contributions. They each achieved their goals because people like you and me came together as one to support their goals. The power of the people. Ask yourself, if money wasn't an issue, what dream or goal would you like to accomplish in the next 30 to 60 days? Let's make it happen. Together.
So we are a collaborative. Did you guys hear those numbers with Kamala Harris, $81 million in 24 hours because people basically pooled their money to make sure to try to help her get to become the next president of the United States. Now, I'm not getting into politics or anything like that, but the point that I'm trying to make is that we bring all the economic value to so many, to the political system, to the banking industry, and we've been taught just to be consumers and not to be prosumers and to basically know our self-worth and basically monetize our economic value together. What I love about the cooperative ecosystem in terms of what we have our hands on and how we're approaching it is that I've never seen anything that behaves in such a way that allows us to basically monetize our economic value where money and residual cash flow touches the most people possible on this planet. There's never been anything like this in the network marketing space, in the affiliate marketing space, high ticket and other businesses. This is literally the perfect business model, but it takes having a collaborative mindset. And if you guys see here, okay, in terms of a cooperation, okay, you guys see here in a cooperative, you have, it's more individualistic. Yeah, there's mutual respect. A lot of you on this line, we have mutual respect for each other. And I'm going to really break this thing down and help you understand the difference. But there's not necessarily mutual trust. And so when you get involved in the smarter money ecosystem, what we're doing, we have all the mutual respect in the world, but you have to have stickiness, staying power, and there are things that you have to do in order to have mutual trust. And that's what makes a collaborative, if you will. And you can see this picture here. This is wisdom at work. This is where people are bringing their talents and their gifts to the table to build this global bank on the blockchain collectively, okay? In the cooperative, there's transparency. All right. In the collaborative, there's vulnerability, if you will. You got to be willing to say, you know what, I don't know everything. No matter if you're 60, 70 years old and you're hearing from someone that may be, 20 years younger than you, it doesn't matter. Just a little bit of vulnerability to learn something new, if you will. That's very, very paint by number simple to do. In a cooperative, there's shared goals. But in a collaborative, and this is what's so huge, there's a shared vision and value. When I'm building any business that I've built in the past and currently with this particular business here, I don't necessarily go after the most talented people. I see people going after quote unquote heavy hitters. You don't have to be a heavy hitter or a guru, be guru qualified to become successful in this environment here, unlike maybe network marketing. I look for people that have a good value system, okay? Because I know when the going gets tough, and that's the case in any business, there's peaks and valleys in any business. The people that are going to stick around are the people that have the same value and vision in terms of what it is that we are doing. The people that just are after their goals and they're just after cash accumulation, they're easily swayed to the next shiny object and don't even realize that they're going to continue to spin plates for the rest of their life. So when you're building in the people-to-people space, I want you guys to understand that if people are bricks, the mortar that holds the bricks together are the value system and the shared vision. You have to buy into the vision that we have here. And the vision within the Smarter Money ecosystem is that we want to see money touching the most people possible, okay? Operating at its highest form, okay? In a cooperative, it's independent and dependent people typically are in a cooperative. Whereas in a collaborative, okay, it's about interdependence. And I'm going to break this thing down for you guys here in just a moment, all right? And I'm really going to help you guys understand the difference in how we're shifting, in addition to being a cooperative, to being a collaborative. So when you look at this here from this standpoint, in a cooperative, you have people that come in, and let's look at these squares as goals. And a lot of you are here for your own personal reasons, and we love you for it. And that's the beautiful thing about being in a cooperative, is that it doesn't matter what your specific goals are. It can be a charity goal that you're here for. It could be because you want to take care of your outstanding bills, if you will. Fire your boss having 7 days of Saturday. You can be a nonprofit or a church who wants to expand your territory. You got a building fund. These are individual goals. Now, the challenge with people that just come in and they're just so focused on their goals and they don't take it to the next level of understanding value and vision, they're easily distracted by other deals out there. And that's something that everybody has to overcome. A collaborative is this, though, where it's about a shared vision and value, because a rising tide, okay, raises all ships. So in addition to us being a cooperative, we are a collaborative because we have a vision of doing something that's never been done before in the people-to-people space. And you guys have heard us say this before, especially those of you who are new. We're just in phase one, building the network, connecting these wallets. That's just phase one, building the bank. But we're going to be able to come together and we're going to be able to collaborate. Many of us as leaders, we're already having conversations about it because buildings are for sale. Land is for sale. There's other business ideas out there that need funding. And because we are the bank, we don't owe the bank. All we have to do is be responsible for our $28 monthly subscription. But as we're building this revenue, we can pool our resources together, okay, just like a super PAC, if you will, and really influence the global economy. But we just got to awaken people to what we have our hands on. People don't really understand the power of what we have our hands on, the fact that we're able to build this bank on the blockchain. Make sense, everyone, so far? So a collaborative is different. It's not individualistic. It's about shared vision and goals. All right. So I'll give you an example. Someone, like D Ford. Many of you know who D Ford is, right? We didn't know each other prior to this particular business. But because he wasn't just individualistic, what he's able to do with him and I, we've been able to collaborate and we're able to share our gifts and our talents to make our global economy, all right, even better. Same thing with a Beverly Davis, the same thing with a Bridget Copeland Harris, a Terrence Malone. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Sharon Abbott, all right, people that want to collaborate to help a rising tide raise all ships. So if you're about that value system, you'll do well here. But if you're just here for your own individual goals and you're not willing to grow, then you're not going to do well here. You may make some money, but then you're going to peter out after a while. So a collaborative is completely different than a cooperative. It's better. Okay. So to help you guys understand the nature of this, okay, and then really follow me here. Okay. When you look at even the collaborative versus the cooperative in terms of relationships, relationships are imposed and they're kind of loose in the cooperative. That's why you have folks that are quote unquote leaders. They come in and they want to create their own system and do their own thing and things of that nature. And they don't really understand how cooperatives work. And so they're here today, gone tomorrow. But in a collaborative, the relationships are tight. They're built over time. I've built solid collaborative relationships with people within our Smarter Than Money community. I'm working on developing even more relationships. We're building a tight bond here. That's why we're so successful as a global community. All right. We're not loose. We're tight. In a cooperative, there's mutual respect, but that's given. But in a collaborative, it's earned. There's trust here. Okay. Some of the people I just mentioned, all right, they've earned the trust, of myself, and I've earned their trust. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because as you're building your collaborative, your cooperative, it's about identifying people that share your value system and developing trust. That's why you have a relationship with them. In a cooperative, it's more goal focused, short term. So you have leaders out here say, well, my people got to make money. We don't own people. So when I hear leaders say my people got to do this, that, and the third, and you're taking them from deal to deal to deal and charge, what I'm saying to my head and not my heart. Because even some of those leaders that think that way, I still love them. But what we're here to do is be honest and have real talk. This is locker room. So in locker room, we're going to say some things that may offend even some so-called leaders out there. But when you say my people, there's ownership, and if you're dragging people from this deal to that deal, they're not having success because they're spinning plates. You got to plug them into a long-term vision and identify their value system and align that value system. And that's what creates stickiness, okay? Because everyone wants to make sure that those memberships are staying sticky, month after month, year after year, long-term stickiness, if you will, okay? In a cooperative, it's inclusive, but it's more about engaged and people just following along. In the collaborative, it's about contribution. We're about empowering people. So anyone that's a part of the Smarter Than Money community, you're going to find that we're going to hold you accountable, okay? We're going to force you to grow. And that's what's so important, because a lot of times we want to make more money. And I'm not on my soapbox here, so I know you guys, some of you have heard this before, but have you applied some of this information? That's the main thing. I had a mentor share this with me years ago. He said, it's not how many books you get through or that you read, but it's how many books get through to you in terms of the application and the evaluated experience of that information. So people want to grow their income, but they don't want to grow personally. And that just doesn't add up. All right. Your income is never going to outpace your personal growth and self-development. So sometimes we're going to ask you to do new members orientation. If you have a leader to ask you to do new members orientation, it may feel uncomfortable to you, but they wouldn't have you do it if they didn't see value in what you bring to the table. If they didn't want to see you grow as a person, just step out on a limb and do it anyway. Okay. The opinions as well is suspended in the cooperative. Well, in a collaborative, it's encouraged. Oftentimes I'll ask various leaders, what do you think about this? How about if we do this? What are you experiencing in the field? See, we take into account everything that you're experiencing as you're building your business into account. And so we make minor adjustments and pivots along the way based on the feedback that we're getting from our members worldwide. So there's no dictatorship here whatsoever. It's not ego driven. This is about everybody winning for the first time in a people-to-people space. So a collaborative is about people working together aggressively and on purpose. And so if you're here on a Saturday morning or afternoon, you're someone that wants to get wealthy on purpose, and I applaud you for being here because of that, okay? So just to give you guys perspective here, all right, in terms of why this is so important, because we're looking to grow to 100 million members here over the next 24 to 48 months. All right. That's what our goal is. All right. 100 million members worldwide. And so when you look at the network effect in terms of expanding our reach here, when you look at a cooperative, all right, people cooperate to perform their portion of a shared task as planned. So it's really more individualistic. They're not going to do anything more. It's kind of like that employee mindset. Like many of us that, when I used to work a job, most of us work just hard enough not to get fired, and they pay us just enough to keep coming back. So it creates this spin cycle of mediocrity, if you will. We just want to do our part, or they say, oh, they don't pay us to do that. All right. There's no extra money that we're getting paid to do locker room on Saturdays, right? There's no extra money for some of the members that do new member orientation on Wednesday. Okay. So it's about people doing more than what you get paid to do within our cooperative. It's about bringing your gifts and your talents. And that's where collaboration comes into play. Okay. People co-labor, right? That's the key word in the act of creation, and the result is changed by the input of all the contributors. So when you have someone like Miss Elaine Curl, who is great with artificial intelligence, creates some of the postcards and things of that nature. See, that's collaboration. When you have members volunteer to do presentations or new member orientation, see, that's collaboration. Or if they have a great idea that can help, us take things to another level, that's collaboration, because it's a very complex job to go to 100 million members and beyond. Most companies will never achieve that. So the reason why I'm going over this with you, team, is not to bore you with a whole lot of rhetoric. I know because for some of you on the West Coast, it's early in the morning. Your brain is already maybe fried based on what I'm talking about. But it's to really help you guys understand that we're serious about what we're doing. We know exactly what it is that we're doing. And we're going to take it not only from a cooperative, but it's about collaboration. And as we collaborate as a global community, there is absolutely no stopping us, that we're going to achieve every one of our goals and dreams and vision as a global community. We're going to literally make history together, okay? Literally. All right? So in order to do that, I want to go over this with you guys to really bring it personal, okay? Because everybody wants to increase their net worth, right? Well, there's two things that you have to do to increase your net worth. First and foremost, you have to increase your self-worth. That's first and foremost. So if you're taking notes, write that down. You have to in order to increase your net worth, you have to increase your self-worth. And I'm going to help you guys understand what I mean by that in just a moment. And then the second thing is understanding that your network, meaning your friends and things of that nature, equals your net worth. So your network equals your net worth. So I'm going to give you guys the blueprint. And this is something I've used over the years. And if you look at this and you study anyone that builds a successful business in the people-to-people space, or any traditional business for that matter, you're going to see that they have these key factors in it. I'm getting ready to give you guys the secret sauce here. All right. Here's the real essence of success in the people-to-people space. So first and foremost, what you have to really take into account and take personal inventory of is the people that you associate yourself with. All right. I'm not saying that you stop loving people, but I got to tell you, I have family members. I'm from New York, right? I got friends that I grew up with on the block that they're not going to change their life. When I go and visit New York, they're going to be right there on the stoop, just where they were when we left, right? It's not a lack of love. It's just that I want to go to a different level in my life, right? Some of you have to take personal inventory in terms of who you're spending your time with. Okay, when you get involved in this. Some of you are saying, well, I don't have any friends left. I'm part of the NFL. I'm going to share with you guys how to overcome that here in just a moment. But many of you are going to have to take personal inventory of who you're surrounding yourself with. What are the conversations of some of your friends? Just because you went to grade school with them, you can still love them. But if their conversation is simply about, Netflix binging, the last television show, or gossip, but they don't have a vision of going towards something better and improving their life, then you're going to have to disconnect yourself and distance yourself from those individuals, okay? Because birds of a feather flock together. And once again, it's a principle that your network equals your net worth. That's just the bottom line. Kamala Harris would not have been able to raise $81 million. Donald Trump would not have been able to raise all the money he was able to raise if he didn't have a network. Irregardless of what you may think about them as individuals, the bottom line is that it's their network that's helped their net worth in terms of their campaign funds or anything that they're going after. So even if someone like Donald Trump is already successful and a billionaire, he still has a network that he can pull from to increase his vision in terms of what he's trying to do. The same thing applies to us. We're no different, all right? So understand that. Take personal inventory today. You may have to start distancing yourself from some of your friends just for even a season. I'm not saying for a lifetime, but until you get to a new level. Then from there, what ends up happening is your own path. Because some of you are saying, well, you know, I don't know a whole lot of people. When I look at my network, I need to change some things. Well, how do I go about doing that? Well, this is where the self-improvement comes into play, team. You know, where your self-worth is going to about you creating your own personal growth plan. And we touched on this last week. Please develop a personal growth plan, whatever that is for you. I shared with you guys, you know, part of mine last week. I have one for my mental, my physical, my spiritual, my emotional, and ultimately my financial. And I have a routine, a morning routine or a system that I've been perfecting over time for myself personally for well over, 2 decades, tweaking it, taking myself to the lab, constant and never ending improvement. Because the moment you think you know it all, the game is over, right? So it's about developing a personal growth plan for your health and well-being, all right? If you're out of shape, if you're overweight, start taking care of your health, because you can make all the money in the world, right? But once your health is gone, it doesn't matter how much money you make, right? Increase your vocabulary, reading books, increase your spiritual connection to God, Creator, whatever you want to call it. I'm not getting religious here, but find your personal growth plan. If you don't have one, then you need to be associated with people that have one as well, right? So if your network they're not into personal growth and they're about gossip and everything like that, that's when you start having to create your own path and start doing it for yourself. So that when you go back to them, they're going to start saying, you're not the same, you're changing, you're a little bit different. Absolutely, I'm going to a whole nother level. And then from there, what ends up happening is as you begin to create your own individual path, then you're able to plug into what we have going on here, even with Smarter Than Money. You want to plug into a community where you're going to be supported and you have accountability, right? So if some of you are distancing yourself from just some of your network because you have a different vision, once again, it's not about a lack of love. You're just going in a different direction. You're just on a different frequency, and that's okay. You only get one life on this rock, right? So some of you, this is going to be your path. You have to create your own individual path. Break away for a little bit, and you're going to feel a little bit lonely. I remember going through this process myself where I felt like I was going through a desert, like no one understood me and everything. But the bottom line is you got to go through it. There is no shortcut here. If you got involved in this thing, for us to tell you that this is going to be easy, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it is. It's simple, but it's not easy in terms of what we do. There's way too many people in the people-to-people space that want to sell you on this idea that they got this magic shot that's going to make you a multimillionaire. No, it takes work, and it takes personal growth and self-development and plugging into a community. So you want to make sure that you're plugging into the STM community and our schedule of events. I'm going to show you guys where that's in a minute, because we have the shared like mind and shared values. Does that make sense? And so what's going to happen is once you latch onto that, then you're going to go to ongoing knowledge, constant, never-ending improvement. All right. One of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to begin to have STM lifestyle and networking events. Okay. It takes a lot to put those things on, and we want to make sure that as people are growing and making money, that's when we want to start having these STM lifestyle and networking events. When I say lifestyle events, I'm talking about not going to events where it's just a matter of training for a whole weekend, 3 to 4 days or anything like that. But we're talking about putting on soirees. We're talking about Thomas Crown Affair events. We're talking about lavish events that are grown and sexy, if you will. And then the opportunity for us to come together and network at these events, right? Because guess what? Your network equals your net worth. And then that's where you come right back to here. And that is how you have this endless, infinite loop. This is how it works. So I went through this path myself, and I remember being in high ticket, and I, got introduced. This gentleman showed me how to work things on the online space. And then based on that relationship, I was introduced to other people that I would not have otherwise been introduced to. That had one point in time led me to a gentleman that him and I have this online business that we have that I don't have to participate in at all. I'm like a silent partner there. But I would not have met this guy if it wasn't through the networking events, if you will. And the same thing is going to happen, and this is the constant loop for you as well. So I want to encourage all of our members, all right, to understand this, create a personal growth plan for yourself, and then have the integrity to stick to it, and then plug in to the STM community and schedule of events with like-minded individuals that share your values, because we want to see you win. We want to see you winning big time. That's all we care about, okay? And then as we're continuing to grow, we're going to have our own lifestyle events in different locations around the world. Can you imagine all of us coming together and there's money just flying around, and we're able to pool our money together in different parts of the world and just choose a charity and just give them a check for $1 million, $10 million, $20 million that comes from our global community, because we want to leave a good footprint no matter where we go. Even if we go there to party like a rock star and everything like that, but we're able to leave our footprint there. This is the vision in terms of where we're going. But I wanted to share that this is the essence of success. And I promise you, if you take a step back and you look at anyone that is successful, this is the path that they've taken. They had to break away from their stinking thinking. They had to take personal inventory of the people, places, and things that they were doing that was keeping them broke. And then they had to go on this lonely trip of personal growth and self-development. They weren't going out to the clubs like they used to. Maybe they didn't go to every family reunion like they used to, right? They were doing the things that they need to do to take their lives to a whole nother level. The old self had to die. And then they aligned themselves with a community that was going to hold them accountable, that shared their vision of success, whatever you define that as. And then you had networking events where now you're networking with these individuals. You're able to pool your money together and do other things with these individuals as well. So this is the loop here that I wanted to share with you guys in terms of us being a collaborative. And this is what makes us so different in the marketplace. And that's why we're the #1 team in the cooperative ecosystem, because we collaborate. Make sense so far? So that's why this is so important, because we want to see everyone go through this. We have all green lights, team. All green lights, where everyone simply does the 2 steps one time, all right? Where everyone activates 3 co-op wallet accounts. Then everyone teaches that one-time duplication, and then everyone goes over the top. It is really just that simple. We just have to get out of our own way, because remember this. Employees make bosses rich, right? Debtors make banks rich. Consumers make businesses rich. Citizens make governments rich. We're prosumers. We're making ourselves rich because we're turning the light on for people that you are worth billions of dollars. I mean, there's really no cap on how much you're worth, but you got to start plugging in and taking advantage of your personal economic value, if that makes sense to everyone, okay? Now, here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to go into the back office here, and I want to encourage you guys to really take advantage of the new member orientation. So for those of you that are new, you want to create a free account, and you want to come in here, and you want to make sure that you log in, and you want to make sure that you get all of your new members to understand our schedule of events, okay? I would keep it just that simple so that you don't create any confusion in your team with a whole bunch of different, messages out there. I will plug into this schedule here because it doesn't take up a whole lot of your time. It's a shared vision and value in terms of where we're going as well. So you want to plug into that. Make sure you join our STM Telegram group. This is our channel here. And I want to share something with you guys here. We have 2 Telegram groups. We also have a group. This is the channel where it's just a one-way conversation where we kind of just put out there the event schedule and things of that nature. But we also have another one that you have to be invited into where it's more of a two-way conversation if you want to have something like that. So you want to get with the STM member that's already in that group. And then if you're in their contact list, they will actually get you into that particular group, Telegram group there, if you want to have the two-way communication there. All right. Obviously, there's our Facebook group. But the main thing I want you guys to understand, make sure everyone watches this video. If you're bringing a new person on, you want to make sure they watch this video, but you want to also make sure that they open up this new member orientation package. That's right here. Have that downloaded. This is the thing that's going to duplicate the success for everyone that gets involved, because there's so many different mixed messages out there in the cooperative ecosystem, and I think it's causing confusion for people. You're going to have to just draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going this way, and just go that way. And don't go back and forth between all of these different messages that's out there. Like I said, we know about the cooperative ecosystem better than anybody else, in the world for that matter, because we've been involved for 5.5+ years. So you want to definitely download this, especially if you're new, and go through the new member orientation package. All right. And then I'm going to show you guys this here real quickly. For those of you, if you're interested, you may not be, but if you want to see this, just to show you guys, we've been around for some time. This is smarterthanmoney.info. And this is just to help you guys understand that we've been 10 toes down. And a lot of the videos that you're going to see, it came through, our ecosystem in terms of what we've been able to share and do. And you're going to see, you're going to be able to see people. We're in the 50-50 program, people making $100,000 a month and things of that nature. So we know exactly what it is that we're doing is what I want to emphasize. We are a collaborative. We're looking for strategic partners out there that want to collaborate with us. If you got talent and things of that nature, we're looking for people that want to help us with our new member orientation. We're also going to be looking for people that want to help us do our team overviews and everything like that, because a rising tide raises all ships. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. If you guys are interested in just seeing that, you guys can go to smarterthanmoney.info to see that we've been here 10 toes down for 5.5 years, and we know exactly what it is that we're doing. So that's what I have for you guys today. And like I said, forgive me, I was out late last night, but I wanted to at least get on here and share some things with you relative to a collaborative versus a cooperative, and that's what it's going to take to be successful. But I think what I want to do right now, what's more important to me, is I want to entertain any questions specifically from any members out there that I can help with. Please raise your hand and I'll entertain any questions that any members have out there today. Hey, Rhonda, how are you?
Greetings, and as always, I'm trying to get my camera on to scare y'all. I want to scare y'all because I'm not, camera ready. I just want to say, boo. No. Two things. I'd like to see the diamond slide again, the one that creates the diamond, or just tell me what was it was the lifestyle and the something, lifestyle and something.
Lifestyle and networking event.
Lifestyle and networking. Okay. And the second one, who do I contact to, be a part of the collaborative? Bridget, is it you? Do I, contact you because I would maybe like to do some overviews or some presentations just get her in the collaborative with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just DM her, in the Telegram or whatever the case may be. You could do it that way. Okay.
Thank you, Greg. Hey, always lovely. Oh my gosh.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Rhonda. Fantastic. Let's go with, hey, Catherine Springer. Good to see you.
Hello. Yes. Nice to see you again, Greg. Yes. Okay. Is this session recorded? And if so, where do I find it?
Yes, it's recorded. And, we don't put every recording in the locker room back office. We have when you go into STM member orientation, we have archived or recorded locker rooms back there. So that's where it will be. If we decide to put it back there, that's where you'll find some of our recordings. But we don't always put everyone back there, Catherine, simply because it takes a lot of time and bandwidth to edit it and put it back there. And then we also want to encourage people to do exactly what you're doing as a leader, and that's to plug in and really put your hand on the wheel at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock of your own business as well. But since you asked, we'll put it back there for you.
I found this a really great session, so that's why I asked.
Fantastic, Catherine. We'll put it back there for you.
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. Bishop Garnett, always good to see you, man. What's going on?
Good morning and great rising to all of you all. Thank you for the information that you've given. Today is exceptional. I really can use that in sharing with family members and friends in general, as well as my strategic partners. But I have a concern. My concern today is that on last night, I went into my Co-op B back office. I was able to go in. Everything was fine. This morning, however, I went to go in and it wouldn't let me in. It said that my email and password was not correct. And I haven't changed anything. So what I did was I refreshed everything, went and, manually put it in, and it still rejected it. So I don't, that's a major concern because I can't get in.
Okay. That is a major concern if that's the case. Are you making sure that you don't have any caps locked or anything like that? On your computer, right, like caps lock or anything like that?
Right. No caps locked or anything. Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor then and give me, let's see, because we don't have we haven't exchanged numbers. If you can give me get to Bridget, your registration key and the email address. Okay. Yes. And then we'll take it to corporate to see what that deal is. I think there was a compression that was done. I don't know anybody, so I don't know what that compression stuff does. So if anybody else has any issues with these compressions.
Rhonda's raising her hand.
Yeah, Rhonda seems to know something.
Who's that?
Rhonda.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Rhonda.
I have assisted 4 other members that are going through this. If there was a compression, what has happened was it wiped out the password. So if you just put in your email, no password, hit log in after you say this is, I'm not a robot, you'll get right in. And then you can reset your password.
Great.
But back out your password.
Okay.
Try that one first. Back out your password. Do not put a password in.
Okay.
Then put I am not a robot and then log in. It should let you right in. Okay. Once you get in, then go to reset password.
Okay.
Or you could try to reset your password, say, I forgot my password, and reset that way. But try backing out the password first.
Okay. Thank you.
Ron, let me ask you this. How did you find that one out? The one, I didn't get any corporate email. How did you figure that one out?
I kept playing with it. I think I was helping. It wasn't Catherine. It was her enrollee.
Okay.
And her enrollee. So I kept playing with it. We tried to reset the password. It wasn't working. Okay. So by the grace of the Spirit, that's why you got to really get in tune with the Spirit. I heard back out the password and then enter. So I told her to back out the password, which she did, and boom, logged her right in.
Okay, fantastic. So if anybody else has any challenge, this is the first I'm hearing of it because I know there was a compression, and it always seems to be something every time that happens sometimes. So now you guys know some workarounds and everything like that. But Bishop Garnett, just keep me posted. Let me know. Bridget, let me know, and we'll make sure we get it handled.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Betty Bridges, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. I always love. I take tons of notes when you share because I use it. Matter of fact, I did an overview this morning at 11 before we got on here, and I always use the things you share. So thank you. But my quick question was, do we have anyone in South Africa?
I'm pretty sure we do. I don't know if on here tonight. Anybody?
Well, I had a guest on last night. Okay, Sharon Abbott, I may have to reach out to you. I had a guest on last night on the call with Bridget, who is in South Africa, and he is very excited. And so I want to make sure I can connect him, okay?
Sure. Okay, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Beverly Davis, how you doing?
Good morning, Greg. Thank you again for this lesson this morning. I felt like you were talking to me. Because Bridget's been pressuring me for a long time. You know, when you retire, you think you retire totally, but you don't.
You never.
You never retire. Betty knows exactly what I'm talking about. Retired teachers never retire. And I said that to say because you turned on the light for me. When we have skills or we think we have skills, then we should share them with people in our community to help, because we don't know everything, but we may say something that might turn on a light to somebody else and encourage them to get out of their comfort zone, because that's what I've done. Mm-hmm. And Denise Davis and Bridget have now, I won't say harassed me, but they've been on me about doing new member orientation, because that's not something I wanted to do. And I sat in here for over a year, almost 2 years before I decided to take the plunge and do something to help the community. And I actually, to be honest with you, I felt guilty because I didn't come in and try to help the community when I know that I could. And I encourage everyone else who's in this community, you have talent. And I've seen a lot of people and heard people in this community talk and speak that can do the presentation, but I haven't seen them do it, presentation or a new member orientation. Step out, you guys. We need everybody. I was on a call last night with pastors and Pastor Thomas, Bishop Garnett, and Pastor Stack. When I tell you I got chills from listening to them, you know, and they weren't nervous, and they came across very soft-spoken, and so everybody could understand, and it wasn't intimidating at all. So don't step out of your comfort zone, you guys. We all need, you don't know, you have some talent, and you may say something that just might turn on the light for somebody else.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And that's being transparent. That's the vulnerability and the transparency that we talk about. And that's why, you know, Beverly's a pillar in our community, and she does an outstanding new member orientation. And for her to admit that she stayed on the sidelines, and there's many of you that do the exact same thing. And it's unfortunate because in the people-to-people space, there's people that say, you know what, I'm going to get rich if I can get a whole lot of people to do what I'm not willing to do, is their mindset. It doesn't work that way in the people-to-people space, you guys. So being a part of our community, we're here to give it to you straight, no chaser. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to tell you that, hey, just put your money in here and just sit back and relax and you're going to have manna falling from the sky. We're not here to tell you that. We're not afraid.